Hey, welcome back to Wisconsin Family. As you know, we are sitting here at Lexus of Madison in their fabulous showroom. We're here in Middleton off of Airport Road. We're going to chat with those folks in just a little bit. Our next guest, however, we've got the fantastic Dr. David Ducommun, who's joining us from No Fear Dentistry, and we're going to talk a little bit about family dental care. And Justin and I have visited your office. Welcome to the program, first of all.
Thank you. I appreciate being here.
Yeah, we're glad to be here. And Justin and I have visited.
Yes.
One of my favorite things is the smell of fresh baked bread that goes through the office.
Yes.
A fabulous reason
Can't
to
be
visit.
beat. Yeah.
But there's other reasons too. So chat with us a little bit about what makes No Fear Dentistry so different from other clinics.
We wanted to create a place that was all about the experience, that from the time you dialed up and someone answered the phone, it was a real kind and loving sort of answer that you knew you were cared for.
Absolutely.
Then you walk into the office and you don't smell a dental office.
Right.
You smell something that smells like a bakery, which is always very welcoming to people.
Calming too.
Calming,
Yeah.
very calming.
That sterile smell isn't welcoming.
And then someone smiles at you and greets you and recognizes you, and you're able to fill out your paperwork and do those sorts of things.
Yeah.
And then, you get a tour through the office, so it's not a strange place to you.
Absolutely.
Yeah. So, obviously, in your title, No Fear Dentistry, there's sort of an implicit reminder that there is sort of this.
The dentist office
Yeah.
can be a little nerve-wracking.
It can be a little nerve-wracking.
Especially for youngsters.
But for some, I think that's kind of just a huge misconception. What are some of the common misconceptions about dentistry in general?
Well, the first thing is I think there's probably 50% of the population that has some fear of going to the dentist. 20% simply won't go in at all, period.
Is that right?
Yeah,
Right.
it's very high. So we treat all patients. We treat people that don't have anxiety too. They just want to smell the bread and have a great experience.
Yes, that's me.
Yeah.
I might come 5 times a year.
Yeah, 5 times, and if you're lucky, you get the loaf of bread that day.
That's right.
And we always have fresh baked cookies too. So.
Yes, and they're delicious. We had a couple.
Yeah, we did. We were there.
So talk a little, we kind of already alluded to this, but you do have care for the entire family. And let's talk a little bit about that care for folks. I mean, youngsters on up, how young do you start?
Yeah, we like to see the child at 12 months. We want to make sure that the development looks normal and there's no concerns there. We also want to find out what the habits are at home with the parents.
Sure.
And those are a huge issue. Things like putting the baby to bed with a bottle and those sorts of things cause tremendous amounts of damage to child's teeth.
And that's so interesting that you really kind of need to be on top of it from an early age to, I'm sure, not only ensure that health care, but also to promote good habits for when they're older.
Yeah, absolutely. And speaking on that, obviously, routine dental checkups are important. Can you just kind of remind viewers how important that really is to have both kids and adults have routine dental checkups?
Well, the old stitch in time saves 9, if that makes any sense to people. I know that's old-fashioned, but if you can catch something in an early, small stage, it might be something like a simple filling, whereas if you wait 3, 4, 5 years and you go in when you have the actual toothache, then you're talking about things like root canals and crowns, and it literally is 10 times more expensive than the filling would have been.
Right.
Absolutely.
Yeah.
And on that same line of prevention, going back to sort of child care and children's habits, remind parents or talk to folks at home about the importance of children's beverages and sort of how those can affect dental care.
Yeah, so the simplest thing is make sure that at night the child does not get put to bed with a bottle that has any kind of milk in it, because milk has lactose in it, and that is a sugar that'll cause decay. And it literally decays out the 8 front teeth, and we don't ever want to see that happen, because then they have to go to the operating room and be put to sleep to have those fixed.
We don't always think of milk as being such a sugary beverage, but it is.
It's natural, so people, and the other thing is honey. People think honey, it's natural, it's a natural sweetener, it can't cause decay. It causes tremendous amounts of decay. It's a very good sweetener, it just causes decay like anything else.
And what about juice? I mean, is juice something that is an issue as well?
Juice and diluted juice cause tremendous amounts of decay. So our recommendation to people is make sure you get the child in every 6 months, make sure they're drinking only water between meals, and make sure you're brushing and flossing them every day.
Yeah,
Absolutely.
And there's other health benefits to avoiding some of those more sugary beverages as well, besides just the teeth. So.
Absolutely.
Yeah. Yes. So, I guess a lot of people might be thinking right now, okay, that's great, I understand that, but these are just temporary teeth before they get their adult teeth. You know,
Yeah.
how important is it really the initial teeth, the baby teeth that
Yeah, people
that kids
overlook
get?
that importance, I think.
Well, so first of all, it's an aesthetic issue. You want to be able to keep the front teeth.
Yeah.
But the baby molars, where the premolars eventually succeed them, the baby molars actually hold space. And if you lose those teeth prematurely, your permanent molar will tip into that space, and now you've got an orthodontic problem.
Okay.
Also, if you get deep decay in those teeth, you can get abscesses and infections, and those are difficult to treat with children, and they're a very bad experience for the child as well.
Well, talk about, instilling that fear at an early age.
Real early.
Absolutely. And so those teeth are also sort of kind of placeholders for the teeth that
Exactly.
are
They're
going to come in.
placeholders, and they're very important placeholders.
And you guys really do your best to try to, as you said, make this a very calming experience when they walk in, but people can really help themselves by just making sure that they're coming in on a routine basis and taking their kids on a routine basis
Yeah.
as well.
Routine basis and beverages I see as the biggest issue.
Absolutely. Well, Dr. David Ducommun is over at No Fear Dentistry. Thanks for sharing your expertise with us. We appreciate it.
You bet. Thanks for having me.
And we're going to be back. We're chatting with Lexus. That's next here on Wisconsin Family, so stick around.